Fort Worth, Texas is a city known for its rich history, Western charm, and thriving barbecue scene. The city really has something for everyone. From visiting the iconic Stockyards to exploring the stunning Fort Worth Water Gardens, we're going to take you on a whirlwind one-day tour to showcase the best of Fort Worth. So grab your cowboy boots and get ready to join us on this unforgettable Texas adventure. Let's jump into it. We stayed in Dallas the night before and started the day by driving in and going to Buongiorno. We're always on the search for a good cappuccino that's not just a latte like many coffee shops make. We figured an Italian coffee shop would be the way to do it, and it was really good here. Also, it may seem like it's really early, but it's actually 7:30 and the sun is just now coming up. Across the street from the coffee shop is an art piece known as Man with a Briefcase. According to the website, the sculpture is supposed to capture the essence of the worldwide business culture. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I thought it was a pretty cool outdoor art piece to see. Next up, we are at the Fort Worth Water Gardens, which is one of the things I was the most excited to see. Plus, there's probably not going to be anybody here this early in the morning. The Fort Worth Water Garden is a stunning urban park located in downtown Fort Worth that opened to the public in 1974. There are multiple pools situated around the garden, but the active pool is the most dramatic of the three. It features a 38-foot waterfall that cascades down a series of terraces and steps into a pool below. You guys, how cool is this? It's awesome just to have this in a public park. You can walk down and stand at the base of the waterfall, which allows you to feel the thundering power of the falling water. It's one of those things I had seen in pictures for a long time, and I was so excited to be able to see myself. Also, going early in the morning like we did allowed us to have the entire place to ourselves. This pool has been featured in movies and music videos and other parts of popular culture over the last few decades. Do note that it's a little bit slippery and some of the steps are a little tall if you make the walk down to the base. Alright, it's a Saturday and we're heading to the #1 barbecue place in Texas, which is called Goldie's. How many people do you think is going to be in line at 8:30?
I'm going to say a nice round 50.
50? It doesn't open until 11:30 either. I'm going to say 49.
What's that show?
Price is Right.
Price is Right.
After arriving at 8:30 a.m., we were greeted by a line, and we ended up being number 60 and 61, so Pops was right. All right, this is Heath. He was first in line. What time did you get here this morning?
I showed up at 4 a.m. on the dot.
4 a.m. And this is his second time here, right?
It's the second time.
So it's like a community here. You're just hanging out with people and stuff.
If you like to talk to people, show up early, man.
This is a Texas thing to do?
It is 100% a Texas thing to do. The friendly state, right?
Yeah. So if you come on a Saturday and you don't want to be first in line, what time do you recommend someone would get here?
I would say 30 minutes after 4.
You gotta get here early for this spot. So thanks for hanging out with me. We're gonna see if it's worth it. But they've been multiple times, so I got good hopes. Texas Monthly puts out a biennial list of the best barbecue joints in Texas, and in the 2021 edition, Goldie's was the #1 spot. So it's about 9:45 right now, still an hour and 15 minutes left to go, and there's probably 70 people behind us. While it was already popular before the list, this skyrocketed it to another level, and that's why all the people are waiting here on a Saturday to experience the barbecue. You get to meet people and feel that sense of community, and everybody's just hanging out, with many of the places even providing free beer or free water so you can just have a drink and have a good time. Plus, while we were waiting, the shop was open so you could go in, you could purchase merchandise and barbecue sauce, plus you could watch them working on the smoker. Overall, the time goes pretty fast. It's 11 o'clock, they're letting people in. There's 50 so people in front of us, about 150 people behind us.
Feeling confident we'll get what we want.
It is nice to have the line finally moving after all this waiting. I wish I could say it was a fast experience to get through the line once it started moving, but it definitely was not. It took us about an hour and a half from where we were at in line to finally order our food. You can see the door.
I can touch the door.
We have made it to the board and nothing is sold out yet. So unless they come and write something, we might be all right. Once you make it to the front, you're ushered in and then you order the meat you want by the weight. My dad and I got a 1/4 pound to a 1/2 pound of the 3 different meats, and then we got a sausage link to try and 2 of the sides. It ended up being a ton of food, but we had waited for 3 hours, so we wanted to make sure it was worth it, and we ended up skipping dinner.
I gotta go brisket first. I'm gonna dive right in. Oh, it's already cut nicely. That rub is so thick. The meat is smoky, tender, juicy. Wow. Outstanding.
Is it worth the wait?
Yeah, for sure.
Brisket. Oh man, that rub is perfect.
That is amazing.
Salty, but like not too salty. Full of flavor. Oh my gosh.
I don't want to put this rib down. I was just going to taste it, but now I got to eat it.
I'm still taking video, and Pops has already finished one rib in 30 seconds we've been here. It's that good. Also, they make their own bread too.
We went to a lot of barbecue places on this Texas road trip, as you'll see in future videos, but for us, this was basically the pinnacle of what we had.
Maybe it's because I waited for 3 hours, but I can't even believe how good that brisket is. Like, it should not be that good. It is insanely good.
It's all downhill the rest of my life.
You left some food on the table?
No, I took it with me.
Also, the line's that long at 1 o'clock, so it's definitely a busy spot.
From Goldie's, we headed about 25 minutes north to the Fort Worth Stockyards.
Next up, we're at the Fort Worth Stockyards, which is a historic part of the city. A lot of cool things you can do, including a rodeo we're gonna do later. Pops is parking the car. I'm going to find the herd, and then we're gonna meet up.
This area of Fort Worth started as an outpost for cowboys which are driving cattle to the market along the famous Chisholm Trail. Today, the Stockyard is one of the most popular attractions in Texas, and it really feels like you're back in the cowboy times when you're here. There's tons of different bars, restaurants, and attractions, along with a wooden maze that's popular for younger children, and of course the Fort Worth herd. We happened to go there on a weekend when they were celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so it was incredibly busy, but it was still a fun spot. The main attraction in the Stockyards is the cattle drive, which happens every day at 11:30 and 4. If you get there early, you can go over to where the herd is hanging out, and you can chat with the cowboys about all the longhorns they have. These animals are majestic with massive horns, and I chatted with the cowboys about them for a while. It was probably a dumb question, but I was interested in if the horns ever fell off like deer antlers, and the cowboys told me that they don't fall off and they have them their entire life.
Just hanging out, waiting for the stampede, which happens at 4 o'clock, which is about 15-20 minutes from now.
Since it was close to when the cattle drive was happening, the cowboys kept driving the cattle around the pen, which was cool to see. It was fun to see them up close like this and to see each of the individual longhorns and their personalities.
It's like the stampede is about to start. Watch out, Pops.
Uh-oh. Man, I wouldn't even get one of those guys.
There they go. They're leaving.
Since it was so busy for the St. Patrick's Day celebration, I wasn't able to get a spot along the road, so my dad went over to see if he could get a spot, and I watched the cattle go through the parking lot and into the holding pen. I still can't believe that they're able to drive the longhorns through the street with so many people surrounding them and not have anybody get poked by the horns. Also, it's pretty unique to have this historic experience, and it's the only twice daily cattle drive in the entire world. I wasn't able to get another shot of them walking the road, but luckily Pops came through in the clutch with this pretty cool shot of them going under the Stockyards sign. The whole experience is over very quickly as they don't walk very far and they walk relatively fast along the street. After the cattle drive was over, we braved the crowds and headed towards the John Wayne Museum. My dad is a huge fan of cowboy movies, and this is one of the things he really wanted to see while we were in Fort Worth. This museum has 10,000 square feet of exhibit space and traces John Wayne's life all the way from his early childhood throughout his career.
Pops, look at how many movies John Wayne was in.
60 something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Plus, they have countless pieces of memorabilia from throughout his life and from the movies he was in. The exhibits are well put together and engaging, and I learned a lot about John Wayne.
Hey Pops, what's your favorite John Wayne quote?
It's from True Grit. Courage is being scared to death, but settling up anyway.
We're killing time before we got our rodeo later, so we're gonna go to the world's largest honky tonk, but we figured we would check out the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Probably won't know anybody here, but it's a pretty cool museum.
The Hall of Fame website states that it exists to honor the men and women who have shown excellence in business and support the rodeo and the Western lifestyle in Texas. Hey, look, it's Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black. He is also in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. I would like to nominate Cowboy Pops for the Hall of Fame.
I accept.
You've ridden a horse at least once.
I will be in
And you paint.
I will be in the mostly hat, not so much horse section. Catlin Brothers.
No idea who that is.
Elvira. I think that's the Catlin Brothers. Maybe I'm wrong.
Who are the Gatlin brothers?
They're music people.
They don't sing Elvira. Billy Bob's Texas, the world's largest honky tonk. Next up was Billy Bob's, which has been here for over 40 years and is basically a Texas institution. Billy Bob's was the nightclub of the year, many years in a row. It's one of the world's most famous honky tonks, and it's basically a large bar, concert arena, and country music museum all rolled into one. It's a great place to grab your drink of choice and just hang out, especially if you're killing time waiting for the rodeo like we were. Fiddle played by Charlie Daniels. You know The Devil Went Down to Georgia was played on that. The country museum portion has all sorts of signed instruments and handprints from some of the top country musicians. So apparently you can tell how loved somebody is by how many lipstick marks they got. Now I'm convinced it's the world's largest honky tonk. There's a rodeo arena inside of it. There weren't any rodeos happening when we were there, and of course it's not anywhere near as big as the Cowtown Coliseum, but it's still pretty cool to see inside of a bar. Two things. First, that's an awesome place to watch March Madness and to have a drink. Second, Pops and I are really tired from just eating barbecue and sitting all day, but we have one more thing left to do, and that's go to a rodeo. There's some big spurs right there to go with the big belt buckle over there. On the way back to the Coliseum, we saw someone driving a boat car across the main street. You can see anything in Texas, I guess. Our last stop of the day was at the Cowtown Coliseum, a famed spot in Fort Worth and one of the only weekly rodeos in the United States.
Hey, to the rodeo!
If you want to do this, book it in advance as the tickets sell out, and I have to say, this is an incredible way to end your day in Fort Worth. I knew basically nothing about the rodeo, but the time flew by and the crowd was engaged and cheering the entire way. Finished our time in Fort Worth. That was a blast. Pops, what did you think about that?
Such a great time. That was so fun.
Yeah, bring the whole family. Have a good time with that. That's it for this video. We'll see you on the next one. Be sure to subscribe for more travel videos all around the United States, and you can see the rest of the Texas content when it's posted in the description.